Welcome to Dark Docent. My name is Jake. Join me as I guide my friend James down the paranormal rabbit hole, attempting to prove the authenticity of a new case each week. Today's case, the Phoenix Lights. How you doing today, James?
Terrible.
Oh, why's that?
I have to go back to work tomorrow.
You know what? Same, and I feel you.
The mystical whimsy of Christmas time is coming to an end. Gotta put down the chocolate. Gotta stop watching movies, silly movies. Gotta stop doing nothing all day and having unnamed brand coffee creamier coffees in the mornings. And it's time to go back to work.
The 2 weeks of mystical whimsy is over. Now it's time to go back to being a cog in the machine.
And even worse, you have all these people who are probably already thinking, I didn't have time off because I didn't book any time off. Congratulations, you missed out on the whimsy. I didn't. I booked the time off and I don't want to go back.
I booked the time off, but my whimsy was filled with working on this show. But that's okay, because I enjoy the show.
The choices we make in life.
Exactly.
How are you?
I'm alright, brother. I'm already sick of work and I've been back for 2 days. But that's okay, because I'm very excited for this show and what we have planned for this year of this show. There's a lot more that we will announce in the coming months. But for now, I got a big case for you, buddy. I got a story for you. It is June 1997. Phoenix, Arizona. Governor Fife Symington is outside of a press room. Inside this room awaits news stations and reporters from all over the country. And they're waiting for a grand story. And Mr. Symington is incredibly nervous. He's sweating. He doesn't know exactly what he's going to say. What could be causing this worry from this man? Is he about to announce an incredible tax hike that could put a damper on his entire state? Is it a political scandal that the press had caught wind of? Or even worse, could there have been a terrorist attack that he has to do the debrief on? Well, James, it's none of these things. The press is in this room, awaiting for Mr. Symington to tell the public exactly what was flying over Phoenix, Arizona 3 short months ago. You see, back in March of 1997, a massive UFO flew over the state of Arizona with over 20,000 witnesses and over 3 hours of people witnessing it. It has become one of the biggest UFO cases at the modern times, and to this day, we still don't have an explanation for it. James, have you heard of the Phoenix Lights?
Is that the big red one?
What?
Okay, never mind.
The big red one? What big red
The big red UFO? I don't know.
I don't...
I could be making that up. I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I don't think I've heard of this one.
Okay. I'm surprised you haven't.
Is this like what Independence Day was based off of? Welcome
No.
to Earth.
Independence Day actually came out the year prior. But that movie may have caused more worry when people saw this thing flying overhead. See, this wasn't like a normal UFO. This thing was the size of a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. Miles long and football fields wide.
I was hoping you were going to say football fields because I find Americans like to measure things in football fields.
The amount of quotes that say football fields, I have to mention it.
How big is a football field, Jake?
I don't. You're talking to a guy who doesn't watch football.
Yeah, and I'm a guy who doesn't watch it asking.
Well, luckily we have computers. A football field is 120 yards long, or 360 feet.
Okay, I was gonna say what the hell's a yard, but
Yards like their version of a meter. And the best part about this, James, because of all the witnesses and everything around this case, we can track this from where everyone first saw the craft to where they last saw the craft. So let's get into it. So March 13th, 1997 was like any other day. Nothing spectacular and rather quiet. However, in Nevada, around Henderson at 6:55 p.m., reports of a massive V-shaped craft the size of a Boeing 747 was flying southeast with 6 amber lights on the belly of the craft. Now, several people started to call in reporting this. It wasn't just one person. One of the people that called in was actually a former police officer in Paulden, Arizona, which is northwest of Phoenix. And he saw, quote, a cluster of red-orange lights in a V formation. It flew low, was massive, and completely silent. Now, it's at this point, the National UFO Reporting Center began to get calls from Paulden, Arizona, and southeast Nevada, all talking about this large V-shaped craft. And every single caller said it was going southeast. Among these callers weren't just civilians and police officers. There was also pilots and even military officials concerned about the lights. And the first pilot to call was actually a famous actor. Do you know who this actor could be?
Famous actor who's a pilot.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burr.
No. Bill Burr a pilot?
He can fly a helicopter, I think.
Okay. This guy was flying a Cessna. The actor was none other than Kurt Russell.
Ah, the guy from The Thing.
Exactly. He was actually the first pilot to call in about the lights. He was flying his Cessna and reported the massive V-shaped object flying southeast. And to this day, he still does not know what he saw. So before this thing even hit Phoenix, there was over 700 calls to the National UFO Reporting Center.
700 calls to the UFO Reporting Center.
Yes.
How do that many people know their number?
Who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters.
I don't even know if I'd know to call something like that today.
Well, think about this. 700 people called the National UFO Reporting Center.
Yes.
That's not accounting all the people who called 911.
No.
So
No, that's the blowing away part.
Yes.
Like, what the hell?
Now, this hasn't blown up yet. Because within half an hour, the lights were going to reach Phoenix, a massive city in Arizona. And when they did, 911, the UFO Reporting Center, all sorts of emergency numbers started blowing up with calls of a massive V-shaped craft flying southeast with amber lights underneath it. But it wasn't just phone calls, James. At 8:28 p.m., we got our first video of the lights.
Yes, someone with a camcorder, finally.
The man's name was Terry Proctor. Now, this video, it was filmed on a camcorder in 1997. Quality isn't great.
I can already see the date stamped on it.
You get it. Exactly. Now, it was night, but this person has taken the video and they showed the original, and then they show it with some like filters to brighten it up a bit. So you can see it over and over again. But the coolest thing about this video is you can hear phones ringing in the back. You can hear his wife and him yelling at each other about what they're looking at because they don't know what the hell it is. And it sounds frantic. And this isn't just in this one house. This is all over Arizona now and in parts of Nevada. This is the Terry Proctor Phoenix Lights video.
Gail? The hell with it. Come here. You see it? I don't know what it is yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have to hand hold this bastard.
Well, I'm glad you said first video, but I could make out some lights in the shape of a V.
Yes. The thing is that if it was just this video and nothing else, inconclusive maybe, but you can see some lights in the sky.
Yeah, it could be a bunch of geese with glow-in-the-dark balls on their feet or something.
Not the worst theory.
Although they weren't honking, you know?
Yes, completely silent. Keep that in mind. Now, at the same time, 2 ex-Air Force officers northwest of Phoenix also saw the object, and they were very concerned. And the thing is that since they have the past of knowing aviation, knowing how planes work, how big things can be, and judging distances and stuff, they actually got a good estimate on how low this thing was flying and how big it could have been. So they said this thing was massive. Had to be a mile wide.
Football fields across.
Football fields, all right? And it was flying at about 2,000 feet of altitude and moving at a crawl. Anything at this altitude you'd be able to hear it if it was anything that we would know. But it was completely silent, made absolutely no noise. So they didn't know what this thing could be. Another witness named Tim Lay and his son saw the craft as well. Here's a quote from Tim Lay. "It was astonishing and a little frightening. It was so big and so strange, you couldn't actually see the object. All you could see was the outline, as though something was blotting out the stars. The lights looked like gas. There was a distortion on the surface. Also, the light didn't spill out or shine. I've never seen a light like that before." Now, he said that this thing was several city blocks wide, and when it got to him, was flying just 100 feet above his house. He claimed that it was translucent, similar to that of like the camouflage from Predator. He could see the stars through it, but they seemed distorted, kind of like the camouflage.
Yeah, a bit of a shimmer.
And it wasn't just him and his son. Tim's uncle was also at the house, and he came outside and saw the same thing. You want me to keep going?
Yeah. Why stop now?
Another man named Dana Valentine.
You know what? Don't bother. 4.5 out of 5. Next.
I can see I'm really captivating today, I guess. Get this over with. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I believe you. Fuck.
Just wait, brother. I got more for you.
Tell me what Tim saw.
His name's Dana.
Tell me what Dana saw. My note taking is a little behind.
Another man named Dana Valentine said, quote, "We could see the outline of a mass behind the lights, but you couldn't actually see the mass. It was more like a gray distortion of the night sky, kind of wavy. I don't know exactly what it was, but I know it's not a technology the public has heard of before." Another woman named Stacy Rhodes was driving down the highway at 80 miles per hour, and she was flying just underneath as it was flying overhead. She said that it took her 2 whole minutes to pass underneath the craft. With that, and knowing that she was going a speed at about 80 miles per hour, they estimated the craft was about 2.5 miles long. This is insane, the amount of witness testimony we have about this thing.
So this V shape of it.
Yeah.
Is it like a V shape in terms of a triangle with one of the points being the front, or a V where it's like a boomerang shape to a degree? Where there's nothing necessarily in the middle compared to like a triangle, if you know what I mean.
They claimed it was more like a boomerang.
Okay. Yeah.
And although there was no lights on the belly of the craft in the center, so no one could really see. Because this was all at night.
Mm-hmm.
So all they could see was the lights and then the shape of what could be something.
Were the lights blinking?
The lights were like a steady amber color.
Okay.
Some of them seemed to like kind of like they didn't look like they were fading.
Distort a bit.
Distorted, but they didn't look like they were fading.
But, okay.
And they didn't look like they were bleeding.
Yeah, and they weren't blinking like plane lights.
No.
Okay.
And this was far too big to be any plane. This was larger than anything we know of. And also, lights over Arizona isn't a very surprising thing. Arizona is a hotspot for UFO sightings. As we've talked about before, Roswell, near Arizona. It was in New Mexico.
There was also that thing that happened in Snowflake.
Snowflake, exactly. Travis Walton happened in Arizona. Lots of nuclear testing facilities are in Arizona. And we haven't got to it yet, but there has been several UFO pictures from the 50s of UFOs in Arizona and other crashes in Arizona as well throughout history. Also, there has been similar reports of strange lights in the area less than 2 years before this event, but this was the biggest one. We continue with more witnesses. Sue Watson, another witness of the event, claimed it looked like a shopping mall was flying over her home. It had these lights in front, and then it was totally illuminated underneath, like a yellowish amber. It was a totally rounded boomerang shape. Now here's one of the more dramatic witnesses. A man named Bill Greiner. Bill Greiner claimed that he saw this massive craft overhead, and he saw that it wasn't just a craft, but the lights would come off and be their own craft when they wanted to. He claimed that he saw 3 F-16 planes launch from the nearby airbase and go after one of the lights. When they did, the lights seemed to collapse, and one went off, chased one of the F-16s, and then when they came back, they all formed back into the same thing again. He's not the only one to report that he saw some of the lights come off. And if you saw in that video I showed you before, there was a trailing light behind the boomerang. And that was reported by some people too. I'm not talking about some people as in 4 or 5.
Yeah.
There's tens of thousands of witnesses. So this is some people like in the few hundreds, maybe thousands saw this same sort of thing. And Bill Greiner actually had a pretty good quote about this. Before this, if anybody told me they saw a UFO, I would have said, yeah, and I believe in the Tooth Fairy. Now, I've got a whole new view. I may be just a dumb truck driver, but I've seen something that don't belong here. I wish the government would just admit it. You know what it's like in this city right now? It's like having 50,000 people in a stadium watch a football game, and then having someone tell us we weren't even there. Pretty good quote.
Yeah. I mean, get that tattooed on my back.
I dare you.
Show up to work with my first tattoo, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
And then get the Phoenix lights between your shoulders.
Ooh, yeah.
And then underneath it have the quote. How many subscribers on our YouTube do we need to get that?
How many does PewDiePie have? 100 and something million?
I don't remember. I lost count at 10.
Well, there you go. Somewhere around there, I think, for a tattoo like that.
All right, you heard it here, folks. 100 million subscribers, and James will get a Phoenix Lights tattoo on his back.
With the quote.
With the quote. Now, people weren't just calling the UFO reporting center. They weren't just calling 911. They were also calling the local airports and air bases. And the funny part about this is the air traffic controllers got calls about these lights. And they confirmed with several people that they had no known aircraft in the area at the time. But the weirdest part about this is that these lights were not coming up on radar. But at the same time, they were watching them from the air traffic control stand. So they could not understand what these things could be, and it was moving like a ship. So they were like, how can we not see this massive ship? We're looking at it right now, but it's not coming up on the radar. And that has been claimed by several air traffic control men that night.
How fast was this thing moving?
We don't really know. I think we have some estimates. It was moving at a crawl. So this was over an hour or so that this thing is seen. And it was seen over several states. The biggest reports were out of Phoenix, though.
What time of night did you say this was at?
This was at 8:30 Mountain Time. It was about an hour after sunset.
Right. Okay.
But as these lights flew overhead, they began to disappear once they reached Tucson. The lights just faded off in the distance, and reports began to fade with it for about an hour. For at 10 p.m., the lights returned in a bigger formation than last time. And I got a video for that for you, too.
Yes, perfect. I hope there's a lot of videos. I hope there's at least like 3,000 videos to look at.
So these are the most famous videos of the Phoenix Lights. This was taken by Lynn Kitei. She was a doctor who actually slowly left her job and became a full-time ufologist because she investigated these lights over several years.
Good, we had too many doctors.
These lights were a little different. They would form over the mountain ranges around Phoenix. They were bigger, and they seemed more stationary. Here is Lynn Kitei's video.
1997.
About 8:30 that evening, I saw lights pop up, 3 lights, far north, and about 20 to 10. Suddenly, I see 6 lights pop on at a distance. I run out there with my video camera. These 6 lights had turned to 3, massive 3 endpoints of a V or triangle.
Like I was saying, it was interesting that those lights didn't turn on or off like instantaneously. They had although it's still pretty quick, I'd say maybe like 3/4 of a second, but they kind of like flickered, brightened up on, and then kind of dimmed, flickered, turned off.
Yeah, it's weird.
So that, like I said, that kind of made me think of like a HID lighting, like a sodium lamp or something like that, where it's not just instantly on, instantly off. I guess even incandescent light bulbs sometimes would take a moment to turn off and glow for a second and to cool off.
Yeah, I guess so. But we still don't really know what those could be.
No, those were several. That video there was several lights that turned on one at a time, stationary, way above the city, and you could hear the people talking. You couldn't hear, given it was, what did he say, like 25 miles away?
Yeah.
You couldn't hear any helicopter noise or plane noise.
Mhm.
There was one flashing light that was either further back or above. That was like a plane flashing light. So I'm kind of curious what they saw or where they were, but spooky.
Spooky to say the least. I don't really know what those things could be. There are some explanations, but they aren't very satisfying.
Weather balloons.
Actually, no.
Really?
Weather balloon is not one of the explanations for this. There are a lot of videos and pictures you can find of the Phoenix Lights.
Yep.
There's even pictures and videos you can find of lights nowadays that look very similar to the Phoenix Lights in the same area. And as this happened, there was actually like no acknowledgement of it happening. The next day, people demanded answers. What was over the sky? And no one was coming out to say anything. Actually, City Councilwoman Frances Barwood the next day was in a meeting with other members of the council. And they were talking about all different things they could do with the city, talking about all these other plans. And she's kind of was like, excuse me, are we not going to acknowledge the several football fields long object just flew over our city the night before? Her quote was, I asked if anybody knew what this object was and could we check into it. I was met by a whole bunch of stares. They just looked at her and then continued on with whatever they were doing. One of the council people actually leaned over to her and whispered, shouldn't have asked that question. The next day, the Arizona Republic published a cartoon of Barwood with a light switch on her face and a button on her shirt that says, I love UFOs. That was in a legitimate newspaper like 2 days after the event.
Immediately smearing people.
And that's what I mean by when I talk about UFO cases from like the 80s, 90s, 70s, 60s. And when I say a policeman came out and said something, or someone from the government came out and said something, and you're kind of like, okay, policemen lie, or okay, government people can't lie. It was a bigger deal back then to do this. This was 97. This is less than 30 years ago. And if anyone came out about this, they were instantly smeared and seen as crazy. And it didn't end there. I have more for you on this.
Makes you wonder what the other council members knew. Like, why did Buddy say shouldn't have asked that?
Probably knew you shouldn't ask.
Or maybe just this. Maybe he just knew about the stigma that was going to follow with it, more so than the actual incident.
Yeah. And after this, the mayor's office, people working for the mayor, put signs on her picture in the hallway saying, if you need to talk about a UFO, here's Frances.
But like, why?
To make her look stupid.
Sure,
And
but like everyone saw it.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Well, not everyone, of course. But
Well, a lot of people.
a fucking
Tens of thousands.
a non-trivial amount of people.
Yes. Here's the thing. Something that lots of people actually don't think about.
Yeah.
Is there's a lot of different religious views in public office.
Yeah, I bet.
Something that we don't think about. There are people who come out with UFO information where some people actually think UFOs are demons. And they say they're doing the devil's work, bringing out different UFO stuff. Some people are just highly against it. And some people who are even higher up just know they don't want to talk about it.
I mean, it's definitely a world-shattering thing.
It is. It does destroy many worldviews if aliens are a real thing. And they just tried their best to smear her and make her look stupid and make fun of her. And worst case, Ontario, she leaves the office. But best case, she's smeared and never taken seriously ever again. So anyone who brings up a question like this knows they shouldn't do this. She could be an example.
I still don't get why other local people are the ones doing the smearing. I mean, I know you did kind of just answer that, but it's like, she didn't say UFO. She said what the fuck was up there.
Just don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions about this. Simple as that. That's what I mean by when someone comes out to say anything about it back then, it's a big deal. Especially someone who's in police, even low municipal government. They even made fake business cards for her that said, Frances Barwood, city councilwoman, Phoenix, Arizona. And the quote underneath it said, "Speak into the tinfoil. I will hear you."
Crazy.
But despite being ridiculed, it came out that she was the one questioning what was there. And she got several calls from civilians talking about what they saw that night. She was the one councilwoman that would listen. So she began receiving phone calls and taking down what people saw, even though she was being ridiculed constantly. Now, because of this, the story started to roll a bit. A lot of people saw something in the sky that night, including probably the rest of the people on that council. They don't want to say anything. And people started asking more and more questions, to the point it started to become national news months later. And on June 18th of 1997, USA Today put out an article. The quote from the article: "On March 13th, hundreds of people reported an enormous object or objects in the night sky. It's the most confounding UFO report in over 50 years. So far, there was no explanation, but the government is not investigating. Local and federal agencies disagree over who should purse the report." Now, this got some eyes on it. And now people are like, there's a massive craft that flew over Phoenix? Not just, is this a UFO? Is this a threat to national security?
Yeah.
And why is the government not telling us anything? It's more concerning that they're not. So, what could this be? Well, this brings us back to the beginning of our story. Fife Symington, the governor of Arizona, was going to give a press conference telling people exactly what they saw that night.
I can't wait to hear what he said. Sure, it's going to be great.
And now I'll ask Officer Stein and his colleagues to escort the accused into the room so that we may all look upon the guilty party. Don't get him too close to me, please.
In the alien costume, the governor's chief of staff.
Now, this just goes to show that you guys are entirely too serious.
Was not expecting that. Guy in an alien costume walks out. Oh, you guys are taking things too seriously.
Not just anybody, his chief of staff dressed up as the alien.
Nice one, Chief.
Now, this was supposed to tie everything together. The beforehand of this thing, he said exactly what we saw, it's something inexplainable, and actually, we have the culprit, is what he said. And then he brought out a guy in an alien costume. Real dick thing to do. Lots of people were mad about that. Not just UFO guys. Everyone was like, we saw a football field-sized craft in the sky over our city, and you're joking about it. Lots of people were mad about this.
I'd be pissed. I'd probably throw a shoe at him.
Push him up.
See if you can dodge two.
Now, from this, we got our first official Air Force explanation on what everyone saw.
The Air Force this time chipping in.
The Air Force claimed that these were just flares dropped by the military in just a military exercise. They were allegedly dropped near Gila Bend, Arizona, and they just floated with the wind and made a perfect V formation, and that's what they saw.
Across multiple states?
Yes. I'll tell you separate reasons.
You don't have to, I believe it. Whatever you're going to say, it's not worth it.
So, where they said that these flares were dropped,
Yep.
were actually southwest, and it wouldn't have crossed all the areas that this craft crossed. Now, here's the other thing. They said that they sent out military craft to drop this all. We have confirmed that during the time these lights were sighted, the aircraft were not in the sky. There was no military aircraft in the sky. There were no planes in the sky at the time of the lights, at least for the initial lights. Now, they claim that these lights were dropped around the same time as the second set of lights. Still doesn't explain what everyone saw from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And now another man came out, a man named Mitch Stanley, who apparently had a telescope. Apparently he could see 1,500 times better than the human eye, something ridiculous like that. And he said that he saw every single light, and every single one was a plane.
Case closed. Except Mitch Stanley is a known liar. Right?
I don't know anything about Mitch Stanley. He's the only guy in the public that refutes this. Literally, tens of thousands of people said no, there was a V-shaped craft flying over Phoenix.
A V-shaped invisible craft.
Yeah, that you could see through. And everyone was like, that's not a plane. It didn't make a sound. It flew At its highest, 2,000 feet in the air. At its lowest, hundreds of feet in the air. So this thing was seen real close. They would have heard the engines. Planes are loud. This was not a plane. And also, after this, computer analysis of the object allowed us to get an estimation on how big the craft actually was. After computer analysis with everything in the area, judging the distance, everything like that, the craft was measured at an estimated 6,000 feet long.
Is this like wingtip to wingtip?
I believe it's from wingtip to wingtip, but I'm not fully sure. The craft was strange. I don't know what angle they got it from, but the thing was huge. No matter wingtip to wingtip or front to back, it's still massive. We also had a guy named Jim Dilatosa looked at the video and analyzed any pictures people had. And he was a special effects expert. And he said that he had, quote, no idea what these lights were. And after this, 3 years after, actually, on the anniversary, they tried to remake the lights with flares to show everybody it was just flares. And the flares did not match the lights whatsoever.
I can't believe that.
Now, I can find you a bunch of like really professional videos of flares being dropped from a jet, but I'm going to show you a shitty amateur one so you can compare it to the amateur footage from the Phoenix Lights.
Perfect. Show me the worst, least convincing one you have.
The way that looks, you see how quickly the lights fade out?
Yeah.
So when these lights fade out and these flares go out, they pulse and they quickly fade out. And if they do move, they do not move in one direction. They sway with the wind and they wouldn't all stay together. So lots of people don't think it was flares. And lots of people who did see the object said, no, it wasn't flares. Also, again, no planes were in the sky. What was launching the flares?
Ghost plane. Black helicopter.
You don't believe in ghosts.
Ghost plane. Like just a black plane. You know, up until I said ghost plane, I hadn't even considered ghost plane. But you said this was translucent like a ghost. Could be a ghost plane.
It could be a ghost plane, but I don't want you to hold on to that because then you'll say this case is bullshit.
All right, so we're putting a pin in ghost plane for now.
We're putting a pin in ghost plane.
Plausible.
Okay. Another thing about the flares is that people would hear the plane. Even if there was a plane in the sky that wasn't a part of any sort of like known radar or anything like that, people would hear it. If it flew as low as people said.
It could have been electric or something.
If it was electric or a stealth bomber or anything like that, it still would make some sort of sound. This thing made no sound.
Not super high up, it wouldn't.
Not super high up. This thing flew down as low as hundreds of feet in the air. And another thing about this is there is no aircraft that we have that it was as large as this.
Okay, this has me thinking a bit.
Okay.
What if this was like some sort of hologram test thing? You got you get like 7 little silent electric planes going along in a formation, and they're all projecting the little Ripley into the misty night. And that's what people were kind of seeing / not seeing. It'd be fairly silent. It would be fairly see-through. Just an idea. I don't know. Holograms aren't a new thing.
They're not. And I am really glad you brought that up because I got an argument against it.
Perfect.
So, remember I told you about Jim Dilatosa, the special effects expert?
Yep.
Here's a quote from him. A perfectly uniform light with no variation from one edge to the other and no glow. They have ruled out lasers, flares, holograms, and any aircraft light sources. It doesn't match any of those. Everything else would give off some sort of bleed, some sort of glow. These things didn't. So, 'twas not a hologram.
'Twas not likely to be a hologram.
'Twas not likely to be a hologram.
Keep in mind, Jim is in Arizona, not Hollywood, so he can't be that expert.
Just because something happened in Phoenix doesn't mean that he lived in Phoenix. What a douche.
Couldn't make it in the big city, pal.
The guy from the Travis Walton case, who was the best polygraph tester in Arizona. Is he worse because he's in Arizona? Is that all it takes? You live in the desert? Oh man, you must suck.
Special effects in the desert. What is it? A cactus?
I'll have you know, some of the best meth dealers in the United States live in Arizona.
I thought they were in New Mexico.
One of the two.
Albuquerque?
They cross state lines. They're that good.
Did they?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
What happened to old Mexico? Am I right?
Ba-doom-ts. Here's another thing, though, James. We also had an unidentified airman come out and speak on the lights. He worked at Luke Air Force Base.
He claimed he worked?
He claimed
This is an unidentified person?
a guy who came out anonymously.
Okay.
And as from what
I'll
you...
be taking everything with a pinch of salt.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. We have a few people mentioning that they saw F-16s fly into the air and try to intercept the object. But here's the thing, is that we also have people saying there's no recorded airplanes in the sky that night, which there wasn't. So this unidentified airman claimed that the base got a call from Prescott Valley Airport. They claimed at approximately 8:32 p.m. they had encountered something over Phoenix, Arizona, which does match up with when the craft was in Phoenix. They reported that they had an object that had a near miss with a small Cessna aircraft. Doesn't mean it happened at 8:30. It just means that it happened at some point and the report happened at 8:30. The unidentified airman claimed that Luke Air Force Base sent out 2 F-15s to investigate. This is a quote from the unidentified airman. The command pilot of this particular flight, I've never seen this man scared, and he was scared to death. This is after he returned from trying to intercept the object. He's not sure what it was. His statement was that they followed this aircraft. It went on a straight line course, and he saw 5 distinct lights in a triangular pattern. After they saw this, he claimed that the Air Force Base had a complete lockdown, and all hell broke loose basically, and the facility was closed. This encounter occurred at 8:30 with the F-15 fighter jets, and that was an hour and a half before they claimed that the military had dropped the flares. So, this doesn't line up again with the story. There's no explanation for these first sets of lights.
Were there less lights from the first set compared to the second set? Because the one of those videos they showed me, I counted 7.
Yes, the first set of lights was 5, with possibly 1 trailing behind the craft.
Right.
The second set was, I think, between 7 and 9.
And then this anonymous guy said they scrambled 2 jets?
Yes.
How many did the other buddy say? 5?
3.
3?
Here's the thing. Other buddy's a truck driver. And I have a bit of a bias against stories from truck drivers. Here's the thing. I work a blue-collar job. You work a blue-collar job. We have several friends that work blue-collar jobs.
Yeah. We're a bunch of dummies.
That's it. Here's the thing. If you want to hear an almost guaranteed lie,
Yeah.
talk to a truck driver. Because they are bored all day. And they will make up stories. The amount of times that I've had a truck driver come to me and tell me he saw somebody pull a gun out on somebody on the street in our town doesn't happen. It was never on the news. I never saw anything about a gun.
There was a shooting like a block or a couple blocks away from my place on Christmas Eve. I
Yeah,
think.
that was the last time and like the first time I've heard of any sort of shooting in like 20 years. Like, here's the thing, is that daily? It doesn't happen daily.
No, it's not a super common occurrence here.
Yeah. The amount of times I've been told by truck drivers, I have all these bestest friends and they're all high up government officials or they're high up this, and that. And then there's like a funeral or something we all have to go to. And I see that truck driver there and he's ignoring everybody because everybody's trying to ignore who this guy is because he's going up to them trying to be buddy and they don't know who the hell he is. It happens a lot. The stories I believe the least from anyone is from a truck driver because of the way they tell them. Every story I hear from like an average person, if they see like, if it's a story that's borderline credible, they're at least a little upset or traumatized by what they saw or amazed by what they saw. Every time I hear a story from a guy who's a truck driver, it's not, I was terrified. This is scary what I encountered. I don't know what this is. I'm bewildered. It's, I saw this thing and I knew it wasn't going to scare me. So I pulled out my Magnum 357 and I shot it between the eyes. but the thing didn't die, it just ran into the woods. The amount of times I've heard that about Dogman or Bigfoot stories, or the amount of times I've had UFO stories of the saucer landing in front of their truck. They all have dash cams on their trucks. Why can't I see the dash cam footage? I've heard stories of guys shooting out their window to shoot Dogman from their truck. Can you show me the receipt of you fixing your window? At least? Nothing. It's always stories, and they are never traumatized. They're always the superhero.
Well, if you're a truck driver listening to this, fuck you.
I'm just saying, in my opinion, they're the least credible. But that doesn't mean he didn't see something. And what I mean by that is maybe there was just 2 F-15s.
Maybe he hadn't learned how to count to 3 yet.
No. Fucking asshole. You drive an 18-wheeler, you need to count at least 18. No. What I'm saying is that maybe he'll embellish that part. Maybe he'll embellish a few aspects of the story. But maybe he did see F-15s launch from the base. Even though maybe his innate nature would say that he would embellish or lie about certain parts. Maybe he's telling the complete truth. I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say. And also, we like and respect truck drivers. You are the backbone of the world.
Stop making up stories. I'm sorry. I think at least if you embellished a story a little bit, added another jet.
Yeah.
Maybe he did see it. We have over tens of thousands of witnesses of this thing. People saw something, and we have video of it. Something happened over Phoenix on March 13th, 97. But it gets even deeper, James.
Even deeper, hey?
Yes, brother. We're coming back to our boy, Governor Fife Symington.
Fife. How do you spell Fife?
F-I-F-E.
Incredible.
I don't know anyone else named Fife.
Nope.
Well, here's the thing. In front of everyone, with the bright lights on him, he made jokes about the UFO that people saw. They're all crazy. Turns out, Fife saw it too.
Fife's got a stage to run and can't have people going hysterical over lights in the sky.
Exactly. And Fife actually reached out to higher-ups in government asking to investigate this, but no one ever answered him. Another thing about Fife is he is a former Air Force colonel and pilot. He knows things that are in the sky. And he said that there was nothing human-made that big that could fly yet. And it's not like he's nobody. He's a governor, and he's been up there in the military and the Air Force. And he came out in 2007 and publicly admitted to seeing the craft. He said, quote, "It was certainly not high-altitude flares, because I've never seen flares fly in formation. Unquestionably, it was a UFO." That's from Fife Symington, the man who tried to cover it up first. The Air Force has denied that any of these claims of F-15s flying up and taking out or intercepting the UFO ever happened. They also denied ever saying that anything flew over Phoenix. Nothing flew over Phoenix that night. There are tens of thousands of people who say otherwise.
Did any of those tens of thousands of people catch a little video with any F-15s in the air?
I could not see anything with any F-15s in the air. Realistically, if we did, the flight was not that long, according to the sources who did see them. They went up there, tried to intercept it, couldn't intercept it, came back down, and then, as according to this unidentified airman, locked down the base.
Yeah.
There's lots of pictures, videos of these things flying in the air. They're all basically the same. You see lights in the sky, and there's something flying there. We don't know what it is. All we know is everyone who's come out against this thing says it wasn't flares. It wasn't holograms. It wasn't lasers. Anyone who's analyzed this says it wasn't any of these. We do not have crafts this big that can fly yet, that are silent. We didn't have anything come up on radar, even though everyone saw the craft. We don't have that kind of cloaking technology really yet. Something that just comes up nothing at all on radar, that big? Impossible. At least for now, as far as we know. And to this day, the government denies that it ever happened or that it was something flying over the sky, even though several people, including police officers and high-ranking government officials and military officials, claim otherwise. But after March 13th, 1997, that's the last we've seen really of the Phoenix Lights or any event big as the Phoenix Lights. There have been other reports of strange lights in the sky. There have been other reports of things all around the country talking about different things like this, but the Phoenix Lights remain one of the biggest mysteries in ufology in the last 100 years. It's up there with Travis Walton. It's up there with Betty and Barney Hill. It's up there with Roswell. It's one of the big guys. But what do you think about the Phoenix Lights, James?
I wonder what the hell happened.
Right?
Yeah, it's hard to say. I assume all videos are going to be the same poor quality, just a couple lights in the sky.
It all looks the same.
Couple people going, "What the hell is that, Jerry?"
Yeah, I could show you more. I could find more pictures for you. It's all the same.
All the same, yeah.
It's like you'll see the same lights. Because it all happened at the same time.
Yeah.
It's not like, this Sasquatch sighting happened in 87. This Sasquatch happened in 72.
But,
it's like it's all the same night, just from different angles.
Yeah. So you said it was seen across several states, though, right?
Yes.
And did it just disappear? Did it just keep going off into the distance? Like, where was it last seen?
Over Tucson.
Over
It
Tucson?
was flying over Tucson. It faded off southeast, and it was never seen again. I believe some people said it appeared to be climbing altitude, but as it got into a less populated area, it began to fade away.
Where did it disappear the first time and then show up again?
It disappeared over Tucson. That was
Right.
the first time.
Yeah.
And the second time, it appeared over those mountains beside Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
It mainly was in Phoenix. That's why it's called the Phoenix Lights, even though it was seen over several states: Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona.
So then it would have backtracked a bit for the second appearance.
See, we don't know if that was the same object.
Could have been like a second one.
I think it was
More lights, I guess, on it.
it was either a second bigger one,
Yeah.
or the lights could have dispersed and it could have been something different. But the lights did not last. As I showed you with those flares, the lights from jets, when it comes to flares, they don't last as long as those lights did.
No.
Those lights in the sky lasted in the video for like 2-3 minutes. And the lights from the jet lasted maybe under 10 seconds. And they would
Those
start,
ones.
and they would start to fade out.
Well, I'm pretty sure flares do and can last longer than a couple seconds.
They can, but they are close.
They use jets shoot a ton of flares for those heat-seeking missiles.
Yeah.
Those things last more than a couple seconds, I would think.
Yes, they do. But they don't stay in formation like those lights did. They sway with the wind and they flicker. These ones didn't really flicker. They faded in and then faded out.
They were definitely large and stationary, and they did fade in and fade out.
Yeah, they did not match flares. They were close, but they did not match. And it still doesn't explain what that other object was. So, what was it, James?
That really is the question. I mean, I wish I was there. I was just under 1 year old at the time. So our investigative skills weren't top notch yet, nor were we in the right part of the world.
I couldn't even talk yet. Some say I still can't.
Yeah. What do you think about it? I mean, I'm kind of struggling to come up with anything here. It seems pretty cut and dry that it happened, and that there's nothing much more to it than other than it happened.
It was an alien spacecraft. That's what I think.
Yeah.
110%, no doubt in my mind.
110% no doubt in your mind. Would you agree that military technology is usually pretty far ahead of commercial technology?
Yes, but not like that, and they wouldn't test it there.
Don't assume what I'm saying. Yes was the answer.
Yes.
Special effects guy, Jim.
Yes.
Maybe it wasn't anything that like he's ever seen commercially available, but maybe the military with infinite budget could conceivably create some sort of hologram projector thing that doesn't bleed out as much. Because like I still can't help but think I'm still leaning towards like maybe it could have been some hologram type thing. Because like just the weird translucent shimmery ship that's kind of there, kind of not there, doesn't show up on any radars. Seems weird, of course, because it's a weird thing that happened.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I'm going back to what I said before, where maybe it was like a bunch of little electric drone planes or something, and they're just testing some new hologram technology to see if it's anything feasible or not. Because like eyewitness testimony is, as we know, it can be pretty shit sometimes. People don't know what they see, and they really don't know what they remember a lot of the time with a lot of stuff.
True.
Straight up. So you combine that with people discrediting it, people just not talking about it, people misremembering. It's like maybe it was. I'm not saying that is matter of fact what that was, but I don't think it'd be outside of the world of possibility. Because you got lights flying in the formation, and then there's something that's appearing in the shape of that formation above it, right?
Yeah. I just don't think it makes much sense. Why would you test a hologram over several states when you have a testing facility that's gigantic in Nevada?
Because you're never just testing one thing. You're testing a hologram, but you're also testing how people are going to react to seeing something the size of 3 football fields going above them.
I guess so.
Why do they drop goo on Oaksville? I don't know.
Oh, to test.
They could drop goo in a facility somewhere.
Here's the thing about that. Oaksville is a little bit different, similar but different. And what's different about it is Oaksville was a small city, population of 600 to 700 people. All they had to do was cut off info from there, and then no one else would hear from it, which people didn't hear about it for a little while. However, Phoenix is a giant city. And it's not just Phoenix it passed over. It passed over Henderson in Nevada. It passed over Tucson. It passed over several cities that are millions of times larger than Oaksville. This did not match what they would do if they were trying to test the public. Normally they do it on small towns. And most of the time when they do test aircraft like this, it's on restricted airspace. They wouldn't endanger people as much putting it in public airspace, because if that thing did hit something, even if it is like a secret thing and they could deny that it happened, it would cause a lot more headaches than if they just did it on their own secretive bases. They have those for a reason, and there's a lot of them. So why would you put it in public? Keep it there. Something that big and scary would cause massive destruction.
Well, if it is a big and scary thing, if it's 5 little electric propeller planes with a hologram, then it's not that big.
I don't think it was electric propeller planes. From the amount of people who said that there's something behind it blocking out the sky, how big this thing was, I don't think it was electric propeller planes. And also, drones nowadays, the longest battery life is about an hour, maybe just under an hour. This thing was flying in the air for over that amount of time. So, these electric propeller planes wouldn't be up to the snuff, even at that time, of secret technology when it comes to electric planes. So I don't think it's that. However, there's strange lights that are flying silently. And to me, that matches UFOs.
Why do you think, if it was a UFO, they would do that?
Well, as I said, lots of nuclear testing sites around that area of the United States. Maybe they're checking things out. And it's not the first time these lights were seen. It's just the time it reached a big populated area. There are other sightings of lights in this area, of strange lights similar. And there's also several UFO reports around Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada. Lots in those areas. So it wouldn't surprise me that something was there to check things out, and they all exploded once we started testing nuclear technology and nuclear bombs. It was all in that area that we started doing that.
Yeah, a bit of a head scratcher, hey?
For one of us.
Sure, it would have been the sight to see. Has anything like that been seen since?
I don't know if there's anything been that large. There's been...
That's the thing that always fucking gets me, is you get these cool, unique sightings, but that's what they are. They're cool, they're unique, they're one-offs for the most part, and then it's like, okay, now we have some new, different shape or formation or whatnot going on somewhere else, and that's something else.
Well, I shouldn't say this is the only thing that large. In 1988, there was a encounter over Japan Airlines between Alaska and Japan, where a massive mothership flew alongside a shipping plane. And here's the thing, is we caught it on radar. And no one knew what it was. And this thing was massive, like 10 times the size of a Boeing 747. Don't have all the information in front of me, so don't fully quote me, but it was gigantic and it was caught on radar. Those two things are fact.
Mm-hmm.
So that was seen before. Also, we have the Belgian UFO wave of 1989-1990. where similar triangular objects were seen with glowing amber lights along the belly, very similar to what they saw in Phoenix, Arizona in 1997. So crafts similar to this, maybe not the exact same, but similar either in size or in description, have been seen internationally.
There's been no further public officials coming out with saying anything about this. Just kind of went away after the little bits.
They keep very quiet about it. There has been some more investigation done as more disclosure has come out. Questions have come out about it that they have not talked about, which is another thing. No one's come out during these investigations saying the Phoenix Lights were just flares. They just haven't acknowledged it, which is suspicious to me. Because they're disclosing a lot of other things. And we do have other aircraft that we have videos of on thermal, but not on radar or on regular cameras, similar to that of the Phoenix Lights in some way. I think it was an alien. We have tens of thousands of witnesses. We have several videos. I haven't shown you all of them. They're all the same. We have pictures. We have a lot. And that's all I have on the Phoenix Lights. Is there anything else you want to say or ask about the Phoenix Lights? Or do you want to go to conclusions?
I don't know, man. Shit like this just kills me. Just the hush-hush about stuff leaves just endless open questions. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why? Why not just give something a little more fucking convincing? Or just say, I don't know.
Yeah, no one said I don't know. They said flares and then didn't answer any more questions, even though flares have been widely debunked.
Too bad.
And also, the SR-71 Blackbird and stealth bombers are now declassified and actually retired. So they could have come out and said it was something like that, but they didn't.
Yeah, that's too bad. Well, let's go to conclusions.
Alrighty. So today, James, on the case of the Phoenix Lights, we have tens of thousands of witnesses over several states in the southwestern United States claiming to see a large, several football field wide or long object in the skies on March 13th, 1997. We have videos, pictures, people that were monitoring the radar seeing nothing, but at the same time seeing the massive craft in the air. We have government cover-up. We have an explanation that doesn't make sense, almost Project Blue Book-esque. And we have several civilians, police, high-ranking government and military officials who claim to see this craft. On our scale, from 1 to 5. 1, I'm an idiot. 2, you're skeptical. 3, you're on the fence. 4, there's something strange here. 5, a Star Destroyer-sized extraterrestrial craft flew over Phoenix, Arizona on March 13th, 1997. What are you coming down to today?
Well, I reckon it has to be somewhere between a 4 and 5, because something strange did happen, but I don't know if it was a Starship-sized destroyer ship plane either.
I'm waiting for the final answer to start screaming.
I know. I was hoping I could kind of yeah, I don't know. I just got to brace for impact here, I guess.
You got to, I guess.
Today, on the case of lights over Arizona, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Let's fucking go, brother! Hell yeah! I'm stoked! Let's fucking go!
Fuck, what would a 5 have sounded like?
I'm excited. I've had a few cases with you of disappointing results, and now I'm stoked that I got you on a good one.
Well, I think you'd have to be insane to say nothing weird happened. Something obviously fucking happened.
I think you gotta be absolutely closed-minded to think nothing happened. We have videos of this thing, pictures of this thing. A whole massive city saw it. You know?
Yeah.
The only people that are denying it are really high-ranking government officials that aren't really denying it. They're giving a shitty explanation and then ignoring it.
They don't want light switches drawn on their foreheads.
I guess not.
Yeah, but I'm also not 100% convinced that it is aliens per se. I think I had a semi-convincing argument that it...
I understand. We do have strange technology.
Which it's still a strange thing that happened, though.
Yeah.
Regardless, so that's why I'm up there.
The reason I say it's aliens is only because we have testing facility for massive objects in the sky like
You can't test everything in a facility.
Do you want to know how big Area 51 is?
Sure. Let's really drag this out.
Area 51 is 2.9 million acres. It is roughly 23 by 25 miles, encompassing thousands of acres used for advanced aircraft testing. The Groom Lake facility, which is just the base, is 6 miles by 10 miles. The restricted airspace is only 23 by 25 miles. And let me look up the largest aircraft testing facility in the States. One of the largest airspace testing facilities is in Utah, and it's 49,000 square kilometers over land. There's a lot of space. They don't need to do it over public places.
Well, if this thing is 3 kilometers wide and you're flying that over your 25 kilometer long base, that's like over 10% of the length of the base. I think you'd be able to see it.
That's the thing. It wouldn't even be able to fit on that sumbitch. This is too damn large. This thing's a mothership, brother.
Yeah, weird stuff.
Weird stuff.
I take it you give it a 5?
110% 5. This was an alien spacecraft.
Yeah.
I did say it a couple times.
Yeah.
And I stand by it. I have not been convinced otherwise. But with that, thank you for listening, everybody. I got James to a 4.5 on the Phoenix Lights. I am absolutely stoked that I could do that. If you want to see all the case photos for this case and the rest of our cases, you can follow us on all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link is in the description of every episode. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please rate and follow on Spotify or subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to this podcast. It really goes a long way. And also, share with your friends. Word of mouth is the best advertisement, and it is free. If you have any case ideas, or if I've missed something, or if you have evidence of your own from your own paranormal investigations, you can email us at darkdosandpod@gmail.com. With that, James, any words to the wise?
You're going to take pictures or videos of the sky at night. Maybe shine your flashlight up there, see what's there. Help us out a little bit.
Help me out a little bit. Wise words from a wiser man. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye-bye. And also, if you were there and you saw it happen, let us know, please. Tell us all about it.
Please do. I want to hear more.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.